At a bustling railway station in a city, a beggar sat daily, relying on the generosity of travelers to survive. Every passing train brought new faces, and he would extend his hands, hoping for a few coins. One day, he noticed a tall, well-dressed man stepping onto the platform. The beggar thought, "This man looks wealthy. If I ask him, he might give me a good amount." With hope in his eyes, he approached the man and begged for money. The man looked at him and said, "You always ask from others, but have you ever given anything to anyone?" Confused, the beggar replied, "Sir, I am just a beggar. I always ask for money because I have nothing to give. How can I offer anything to others?" The man smiled and said, "If you have nothing to give, then you have no right to ask. Life is about give and take. I only do business with those who offer something in return." Then, without another word, he boarded the train and left. The beggar sat there, replaying the man's words in his mind. Maybe I don't receive much because I never give anything in return. But what could a beggar possibly offer? For 2 days he pondered this question. On the third day, he noticed a small bush near the station, covered in fresh flowers. An idea struck him. Why not give flowers to those who give me money? Excited, he picked a few flowers, and, as he begged that day, he handed a flower to every kind soul who gave him money. To his surprise, people appreciated the gesture, smiling as they accepted the flowers. Some even gave him more than usual. From that day forward, he made it a habit. Each morning, he gathered flowers and offered them to those who gave him money. He soon realized that people were not just giving him money, they were paying for the flowers. One day, while moving from compartment to compartment, he saw the same tall man again. The beggar approached him and said, "Today, I have something to give you. If you give me money, I will give you flowers in return." The man smiled, handed him some money, and accepted the flowers. "Now you've become a businessman," he said before stepping off the train. Once again, his words resonated deeply. The beggar realized something profound. He was never truly a beggar. He had simply never seen himself as anything else. That day, he made a decision. He would never beg again. Instead, he would sell flowers properly. Over time, he saved enough money to buy more flowers and set up a small stall near the station. As months passed, his business grew. He expanded, supplying flowers to nearby shops and eventually opening his own flower store. 6 months later, at the same station, 2 well-dressed men met while boarding a train. One of them extended his hand and asked, "Do you recognize me?" The other man hesitated. "I don't think we've met before." The first man smiled and said, "We've met twice before. The first time you refused to give me money. The second time, you bought flowers from me. Today, I am a businessman." Surprised, the second man exclaimed, "You were the beggar at this station?" "I was never truly a beggar," the first man replied. "I just didn't see myself as anything else. You taught me a powerful lesson. We only receive when we give. That simple rule changed my life." The 2 men smiled and continued their journey. This story teaches us that success begins with self-perception. The beggar remained in poverty not because of his circumstances, but because of how he saw himself. The moment he changed his mindset, he changed his life. The principle of giving before receiving is not just a business rule, it is a life philosophy. When we shift our focus from merely taking to also offering something of value, we open doors to new opportunities. More importantly, our identity shapes our reality. If we see ourselves as incapable, the world will treat us that way. But when we recognize our potential and take action, life responds in kind. No dream is too big, and no situation is too hopeless if we dare to think differently and act boldly.